Good morning, Joseph. Your math class today, lesson 8 in book 608, lesson 8, page 31. If you open your book there, I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to give you a few examples and you can look at them. But we're going to learn about interest. Do you know what interest is on money? Okay, so interest is if you put, do you have a savings account maybe? I don't know. But if you put money into the bank, into a savings account, the bank will pay you money. It's called interest. Okay, so the money that the bank will pay you to use your money is called interest. So you can actually earn money without having to do anything by putting in the bank. It's not going to be much money, but it will earn you a little bit of interest. The same way that if you need money to build a house, okay, you can go to the bank and borrow money, and the bank will give you their money, but they're going to charge you interest to use their money. Just like they pay you interest to use your money, you have to now pay interest to use their money. So that all that stuff is called interest when you have to, it's what you have to pay extra to use somebody else's money. In the third paragraph, it says, Peter raised a calf last summer and he sold it for $250 in the fall. He opened a savings account at a bank that pays 5% interest per year. Okay, so interest is always going to be expressed as a percent. Okay, so he had $250 that he made on his calf that he sold, and he got a 5% interest on it. Okay, to simply find out how much interest he had to pay, you change the percent to a decimal. Okay, remember, move it over 2 places, so it's like that. That's what it is as a decimal. I'm sorry, I didn't go far enough. Let's go 2 places. It's 0.5. Well, if I can write it correctly, sorry, 0.05. There we go, that's 5%. Always move over 2 places. So it was behind the 5, go over. So all you have to do is take $250 times 0.05 to figure out how much money he made in 1 year's time. And it tells you there, he made $12.50 that year without even having to work, because he put this money in the bank. Okay, so this was how much interest he made, $12.50. How much money did he have at the end of the year? Well, he started with $250, right? And he got $12.50 interest. Remember, when you do interest, your decimal points have to add up. So there was no interest in $250, so you have to put 1 there and add the zeros so that you have the same amount here. And now you add all this up, you notice he has $262 now. So he started with $250, we figured out how much interest he earned, and then we added that to the amount of dollars, and we come up to this. So now at the end of the year, he has $262.50. Okay? That's what interest will do for you. Similarly, down to the very last paragraph, is talking about borrowing money from the bank. Remember what I was talking about? If you go borrow money from the bank. So Peter's father borrowed $5,000, okay? That's called the principal. That's how much money he borrowed to build a shed for his calves. The bank charged 12% interest, all right? So we want to know how much interest he paid. Remember, you always have to move it into a decimal, so this is 0.12, because you can move over 2 places. And then you take the 5,000, the principal, times the decimal, and you figure out how much interest he had to earn. And it tells you that he had to pay $600. Okay? In 1 year's time, he had to pay $600 interest. Now, how much did he have to pay altogether? So you go with what he had to start with, which was $5,000, his principal, and you add the interest, which was $600. There's no decimals, they're all at the end. And you know, at the end, he had to pay $5,600 interest, or total, for the principal and the interest. So that's how we always do interest problems. So let's go to number 1, the story problem. It says Polly received $50 from her grandmother for her birthday. Okay, that's the principal. She got $50, all right? I want you to write it out in the book. Grandmother advised Polly to open a savings account with it. So she did, and Polly earned 4% interest, okay? So this is 4%. You don't have to write this down. But tell me, how do you change 4% to a decimal? Because you're going to have to multiply $50 times 4%. So remember, move the decimal point over 2 places. So it's going to be 0.04. And that's what you multiply. Okay, so I want you to do that. Okay. Look at how many decimal places there are in your figures. There's 1, 2, so you have to go over 2 places from the end. 1, 2. So she earned $2. So that's what you put in letter A. How much interest will it earn in 1 year? It earns $2. Then the B, the second question, how much money will she have in her account, including the interest at the end of the year? So what did she start with? $50. How much interest did she earn? $2. So how much money does she have now? $52, right? So you understand how to do that? I hope that makes sense. I'll help you with the next one. And then number 3, I'm going to have you do it on your own. So if you go to the next page, number 2. I'll help you with this one yet. And then I want you to do number 3 on your own. Polly kept her money in a savings for a year. On her next birthday, grandmother sent her another $50, which Polly deposited into her account. How much did Polly have in her account after she deposited another $50? So remember, she started with $50. This is on the last page. She made $2 more. So now how much money does she have? We said she had $52, right? That's how much money she has. And now her grandmother sent her another $50. So we have to add that to that to see how much money she has now. How much money does she have? $102. Okay? So that's what goes into A. That's how much money she had. $102. Okay? So B, it says how much interest will she make if she gets 4% interest. So we have $102. Remember, 4% equals 0.04 as a decimal. So you take this times 0.04. All you have to do is take it times the 4 because everything else is 0. So it's 8, 0, and 4. Move your decimal point over 2 places. So that's your interest. That's how much money she's going to make. $4.08. That goes in B. How much will be the amount earned this year? She'll earn $4.08. And then C, how much money will she have in her account at the end of the second year? So what did she start with? $102. How much interest did she earn? $4.08. Remember decimal points. And now add all that together. And now she has $106.08 in her account. Okay? That's how you do interest problems. I'll let you do number 3 on your own. If you have any questions or problems, let me know. Remember on the bottom of page 32 is what we learned yesterday about areas. When you already know the formula or already know the area, remember to always start with the formula. Area equals length times width, and you replace what you know, just like we learned yesterday. Okay, on number 7 on page 33, you're finding the total cost. So you can simply add the 6% to 100, which would be 106%. Okay, 106%, which makes 1.06. And that is what you can multiply times the $22.65 to get your final answer. The rest of the lesson, I think you should be able to do. You'll have more interest problems at the end of the book or end of the lesson, number 20 and 21, but they're done just like the new ones that we learned this morning. Okay? Hope you have a good day, Joseph. See ya.